On day 1, I spawned in on a small island in the Nether as a magma wither. Suddenly, a trident flew in from above, summoning a geyser of water where it landed. What's going on? This should be impossible, right? Dropping down onto the watery platform were terrifying skulk zombies. I looked around for a way to escape, but found nothing. Am I going to die? Then, 2 other magma withers, much larger than myself, raced in and destroyed the monsters with blasts of fire. After finishing them all off, they approached me.
Are you all right, dear?
Mom? Dad? Is that you?
Yes, it's us, Bronzo. Please follow us.
We need to get you somewhere safe, now. The water warden is coming.
I followed my parents without question into a small building on our island. Suddenly, the water warden blew a hole in the house. I tried attacking him, but he hardly seemed to notice. My parents immediately moved in front to shield me.
Spare him, he's just a boy.
You fools! I did not come for this pathetic child. I came to end you.
My parents looked at me desperately and began shouting.
Go, son! Get out of here!
Get away as fast as you can, and please don't look back. We'll be right behind you.
With tears welling up in my eyes, I could do nothing but fly away until the island and my parents were far out of sight. Just you wait, Water Warden. You'll pay for this. I swear. Flying as fast as I could into day 2, I was starting to get really tired. I was still way too young and weak at this point to fly for long periods of time. I'll just catch my breath here. Not a moment after crash landing, more skulk zombies ambushed me. I tried to fend them off using my skull attacks as they shambled closer, but I was having a hard time aiming the unfamiliar ability. Just stay still! I had to run away again, and fast. I tried once more to fly into the air, but was still too tired and began to fall. Oh no, not the lava! I plunged into the sea of lava, but found that I was perfectly fine. Oh, right, I'm a magma wither. Duh. The zombies still tried to follow me. The fastest of the group met a fiery death in the lava, causing the others to hesitate. The rest of them stopped and watched me angrily from the land. As I finally caught my breath swimming in the lava, 2 blazes floated over to me.
Hey, you there!
The Warden's armies are marching through the Nether. You should come with us if you want to live.
The blazes escorted me to a ruined Nether portal and helped me finish it.
There, that should finish it.
Thank you so much, you guys. I'm Bronzo. How can I ever repay you?
Don't sweat it, kid. The name's Zach, by the way. This is Colton.
Suddenly, another trident flew in from above, erupting out with water. The skulk zombies once again fell from the ceiling.
No time to talk. Just go.
All right. I looked back from the portal to see Zach and Colton fighting them off the best they could.
What are you still doing here, kid? Scram!
Right, Geronimo! I jumped through the portal, leaving my saviors to their fate. On day 3, I emerged through the other side of the portal. I was on a beach in the overworld. Phew. I can't believe I managed to escape. I used some sand to block the portal, hoping it would stop anyone from following me. Then I looked for a place to sit down and take a nice little nap. This looks like a good spot, but before I could get comfortable, I heard something in the distance. Help! Help! Sounds like someone's in trouble. A fisherman was being swarmed by drowned. He tried to fight them off with his fishing rod, but was quickly losing ground. Maybe now is as good a time as any to get some target practice in. As I sent a blast of fire hurtling towards one of the drowned, it burnt to a crisp. And then another one, and another one. Hey, I'm really getting the hang of this. As I was just about finished, the last one fled into the ocean. Oh no, you don't. I tried to chase it into the water, but immediately got hurt when I touched the surface. I even gained a slowness debuff. Ow! Okay, noted. Don't go into the water. The fisherman approached me from behind, cautiously.
Hey there, kind sir. My name's Jerry. Thanks for helping me out of that pickle.
Yeah, don't mention it.
Here, for your troubles.
The fisherman handed over what looked like a piece of raw salmon. It looked so yummy, and I just had to take a bite. Wow, this is amazing. After picking it up, my molten exterior cooked the fish perfectly. You know, you're not half bad, Jerry.
Me? You flatter me, but I'm just a humble fisherman. I've never seen anyone stand up to the Warden's minions, especially not this close to the General's base. He's taken many of the people from my village captive.
Take me there! I want to see this general for myself. On days 4 through 8, I followed the fisherman into a desolate swamp, where he was supposedly leading me to the general's base. You sure this is the way, Jerry? I trust your fisherman instincts, but we stepped forward and came upon a huge overgrown fortress. Jerry, I'm sorry I doubted you.
Well, that's quite all right, sir. Here, take this. We can use it to free the prisoners.
I took Jerry's pickaxe and we snuck our way into the grounds until we spotted all of the townsfolk from Jerry's village held captive. Okay, Jerry, let's split up. You take one side, I'll take the other.
Aye, aye, Captain.
We crept our way inside to try to free the townsfolk, but somehow they spotted my glowing body of molten lava.
Intruder alert! Intruder alert!
Out of nowhere, a bunch of slimes dropped all around me and started attacking. I unloaded my magma wither power on the slimes and slowly was able to knock them down smaller and smaller. Their attacks were tough, and as they got smaller, they started to overwhelm me, but they were no match for the magma wither. I killed them all and started freeing the prisoners from their cages. We did it, Jerry! Jerry?
Seems I may be in a predicament.
I turned around and spotted Jerry being taken away by little sludge men. Jerry! Half the townsfolk were still in cages, but Jerry was in trouble. I chased the little dudes into the main area and caught up with them. I started blasting, and they didn't stand a chance. Ah, take that, boogers.
Sir, you might want to look behind you.
Oh boy. I turned around, and the Warden's sludge general was right behind me.
Who dares enter my domain?
I am Bronzo, and I'm on a quest to destroy the Warden and his forces. And you are my first target.
Very well. Let's see how that goes for you, shrimp.
Yeah! I charged in to fight him with everything I had. He swung his massive fist at me with incredible strength, but I was able to keep my distance.
You killed 3 of my minions before. Let's see how you handle a few more.
What? The Sludge Lord started summoning more and more minions. I was nearly overwhelmed, but Jerry used his fishing pole to pull some of them off of me.
Enough of your interference.
The general smacked him, sending him flying into a pillar.
Oh dear.
Jerry, wait, that gives me an idea. Jerry, get out of the way. Jerry crawled out of the way, and I started shooting at the pillars using my Wither Skull ability. The whole place started to crumble, and a piece of the ceiling fell down on top of the Sludge General, killing him. Yes, we did it, Jerry. Celebrate with me. Jerry and I started dancing.
Marvelous work, just marvelous.
That's right! As I celebrated with Jerry, I started to transform. Killing the general had caused me to level up. I grew into an adult magma wither and gained 10 hearts. I also got an epic new fire ability and immediately started testing it out. This is awesome! On days 11 through 14, I regrouped with the townsfolk. You guys seem pretty cool. Do you want to go back with me?
Like, to the Nether? Oh, no. I think we're good.
Oh,
I'll join you, sir.
Jerry, my man! Let's blow this dump. I returned with Jerry to my destroyed home in the Nether. My parents were nowhere to be found. I could only assume the worst.
You sure you want to rebuild here? On the land of your ancestors?
Of course. This is where they'll least expect it. I started by building out into the lava and building big fortress walls to keep out the Warden's forces. Next, I built a tower in one corner for myself, and on the opposite corner, I built one for Jerry. This way, we would both have a good vantage point to see if anyone was coming, not to mention a great view of the beautiful fiery landscape. I filled up Jerry's tower with stuff that I thought he would like, and I showed it off to him.
Splendid work, my boy. How do you know I love fish?
Just a hunch. In the 2 other corners of the base, I built towers for Colton and Zach in case they ever decided to return. I filled their towers with colors and things that I thought they would like. Finally, I built a stronghold in the center of the fortress where I could keep all of my valuables and craft stuff. I went up to the top of my tower to check out the view, and I spotted a cute little magma cube frantically hopping its way to my base.
Help! Help!
What's up, little blob?
My family is in danger!
I flew down to see what was up.
One of the Warden's generals built a factory on the lava pool my family lives in, and it's draining all the lava from it.
They can't take all the lava. I need lava.
I know! Me too!
Take me there! On days 15 through 17, I followed the little magma cube as he led me to his home, where a huge factory now towered above us. The place was crawling with netherite golems, and I knew it wasn't safe for a little guy like him. You hang tight. I'll take it from here.
Roger that!
I tried to sneak my way up to the factory, but I was immediately spotted by a guard on account of being huge and glowing.
Bogey off the port bow! Bogey off the port bow!
I swooped in and started hitting them with everything I had. They were super tough, being made of netherite, but my wither powers were strong, and I was able to slowly wear them down while keeping my distance by flying up in the air. Eventually, there was only one left, and I interrogated him. Who's in charge here?
Well, the Netherite general created this place, but he put the foreman in charge. He's inside.
Thanks, dork. With that, I continued inside to find the foreman, and he was a hard man to miss. Foreman, I order you to cease your operations.
We can't stop until all of the lava in the Nether is gone. I'm only acting on the Warden's orders.
Well, then you leave me no choice. Ah! I charged into the fight with all of my might. He was super tough, and he could pick up large blocks and hurtle them at me. I fought him off with my flame slash power and used my wither skulls to deliver powerful blasts that started blowing holes in the place. I dodged the netherrack he hurled at me as well as I could, but he had really good aim. He also had his stony arms that packed a punch. It was a tough fight, but eventually I was able to overpower the foreman. I then proceeded to blow up the whole factory using my wither powers and returned to the magma cubes who were happily playing in the lava.
Thank you so much for saving us. Here, please take this small token of our gratitude.
They handed me a netherite pickaxe, and I couldn't believe it. Holy guacamole! Where the heck did you get this?
Oh, you know, around. While you're here, you should stay and enjoy some of our magma cube hospitality.
Okay, sure. On days 18 and 19, I was enjoying the magma cube's hospitality when suddenly the water warden appeared out of nowhere.
You're becoming a real thorn in my side, puny magma wither.
You can't take lava out of the Nether. It's one of the only sources of light. Without it, it would be...
It would be what? Deep and dark?
How can you even create water in the Nether? It's impossible.
The depth of my power simply knows no limits. You should be deeply afraid to be on my bad side, puny magma wither.
I'm not afraid of you.
Oh yeah? Why don't I teach you a little lesson then?
The water warden turned and blasted all of the magma cubes with water, encasing them in stone and killing them. No! They were innocent! You monster!
That's too bad. Looks like you're next. I've got my best knight here to take you out.
He called out his water knight, who suddenly appeared in a flash, while the water warden disappeared. Uh-oh.
I fight for the honor of the Water Clan!
I fight for the Nether, where my base is. The winged water warrior charged at me, and I fought it off with all of my power. We swooped back and forth at each other through the air. His sword slashed out at me with deadly accuracy. I was starting to wear him down, but he was getting me low too. At one point, he even knocked me down and I fell into the lava, but I got right back up and kept fighting. The battle was a tough one, but eventually, with a well-placed wither skull, I was able to come out on top, knocking him out of the sky.
I have forsaken my name as Water Knight. I'm sorry, Water Clan. I have failed you.
Yeah, get on with it. I finished him off and he dropped a map. Good thing this didn't fall into the lava. General's base. That must be the Netherite General. On days 19 through 22, I was following the map and finally arrived at the Netherite General's base. Unfortunately, it was crawling with a ton of Netherite golems. There were way too many of them to fight through. Plus, they were shooting gas cannons around, so I knew my earlier strategy of flying above them wouldn't work. There's gotta be a way inside. I spotted the Netherite General himself sitting in his quarters. Wait, is that a nether portal? There was a massive nether portal right behind the general, and I figured that must be the way he travels around. I have an idea. I found a patch of obsidian that the water warden must have created. I mined up a bunch of it and built myself a portal back to the overworld, just like Zach and Colton had taught me. All right, here goes nothing. I stepped through the portal and returned to the overworld once again. I wandered in the direction I thought the portal should be, and I discovered a big netherite tower, guarded by some lesser golems made of snow. Yeah, I can handle that. I charged in and started blasting them all to smithereens. I massacred them quickly with my fire abilities. Eventually, I was able to defeat the snow golems and secure the area. I flew to the portal on top of the tower and jumped in. On days 23 through 24, I emerged on the other side of the portal, right behind the Netherite General. Boo! I took the general by surprise, and the fight began. He charged at me and swung his massive arms through the air, shaking the ground as he slammed them around. I flew around him, using my superior speed to stay out of his reach.
You just signed your death warrant!
The Netherite General launched a volley of molten balls of lava, which exploded on impact. I tried to dodge and weave between his shots, while sending some of my own his way, but it was like I was chucking pebbles at a building. As we traded volleys of exploding fire attacks, we both started to get worn down. To my horror, however, the general began sucking up the lava he had strewn about to regain health. What? Ugh! There's gotta be a way to take him down. The general caught me off guard and knocked me to the ground. He stood over me and spoke.
You foolish beauty wither! You don't really think you can beat every general and the warden himself, do you? Who do you think you are?
Of course I can. I'm Bronzo! I shot straight up into the air and blasted him with everything I had. My powers were too much for him, and he crumbled into a million pieces. He dropped an epic new hammer for me to wield, but I couldn't use it. Man, if only I had hands. The ground was also littered with netherite ingots, so I scooped a bunch of it up happily. Now I just need some diamonds, and I can make myself netherite armor. I transformed, growing 6 big hands, and gained 10 hearts. This is perfect! Now I can wield the hammer. Time to test it out. With my new hammer and my tougher form, I was able to fight my way through all of the netherite golems and make it out on the other side. Yes! This is so cool! I'm getting really strong. With that, I set out for the overworld to mine some diamonds. On days 24 through 27, I arrived in the overworld and began searching for diamonds. Eventually, I was able to find enough for a full set of armor. I happily headed back towards my portal when a mysterious figure approached me.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Who dares approach me? Oh, food.
Don't eat me, please. I am an envoy from the Resistance.
Resistance?
Yes. We are a coalition of all sorts of overworld mobs fighting against the Water Warden to save the world.
Hey, I'm fighting him too.
Would you like to come meet the Resistance? We may seem like a strange bunch, but we will greet you warmly.
I'd love to meet my adoring fans, but first, I have some business to attend to.
Of course. Here, take this map. It will lead you to our base when you are ready.
With that, I returned to my base and greeted Jerry. Jerry! I defeated the Netherite General, and he dropped a bunch of Netherite, and now I'm gonna make some epic armor for myself.
That's totally mega rad, sir.
I know! First, I needed a place to craft myself Netherite armor. I built an epic forge so that anyone who needed armor could craft it in my base. I then crafted diamond armor, turned it into Netherite armor, and put it on. I am am unstoppable! I knew I couldn't run this forge on my own. I would need a forge master to run it for me. Jerry was great, but I knew he didn't have the grit for this. Who can I get to work for me? Just then, the magma cube returned. Whoa, little blob guy, you're alive!
I swam down deep into the lava where the water warden couldn't get at me.
Attaboy, you've got grit. Say, how would you like to be my new forge master?
I'd love it.
Great! I dubbed the Blobbius Maximus, or just Blobby for short. With my base in the capable hands of Jerry and Blobbius, I set out to find the resistance base in the overworld. On days 28 through 30, I arrived at the resistance base, and it was under attack. Oh, jeez. The water warden was here, and he was destroying everything. Once he spotted me, he summoned a ton of drowned creepers to destroy the place. I ran in to help the resistance members fight, and started blasting drowned creepers left and right. I wasn't able to stop them all, and they started blowing up even more of the base. Eventually, we killed them all, ending the threat. But the base was still totally destroyed. Oof, this place looks rough. Just then, a figure emerged, and I knew it must be the leader of the resistance.
Our forces were planning a large-scale attack on the water warden, but now, unfortunately, we have no base of operations.
I've got one in the Nether. You can take refuge there, since it sounds like we're fighting the same fight.
I humbly accept this gracious offer.
I then began to lead the ragtag resistance group back to the Nether. On days 31 through 34, I arrived at my base with the surviving resistance members. I built them a barracks where they could all stay. Pretty soon, this place would be a fully fledged resistance stronghold.
Thank you, Great One. You truly are a grand hero.
Yeah, well, I know, but I still need to get much stronger if I'm gonna stop things like this from happening again.
Have you spoken yet with the mighty Fire Guardian in the overworld?
Fire Guardian? No. Who's that?
He is a great leader who lives in a cave deep under the jungle. Go to the center of the jungle. Once you get there, you'll find a glowing tree. Dig down at the base of the tree until you fall into a cave. He will be there.
You have, like, a street address? No? Okay, well, thank you for your help. I set out to follow the resistance leader's directions. I trudged deep into the jungle for days until I finally found the glowing tree. Aha! There it is! I flew towards it, but as I approached, a swarm of warped phantoms flew out and attacked me. Ah! Death from the sky! I fought them off with my powers, blasting fire all over the jungle. They swooped down at me, biting and slashing at me. Wait, I can fly! I shot up into the air and unleashed all of my power on them. One by one, I was able to take them out. When I defeated the last of the sky demons, I wasted no time and dug down at the base of the tree to seek an audience with the Fire Guardian. Suddenly, the ground beneath me gave way, and I fell down into a deep cave. But luckily, I landed in a pool of lava.
Hello!
A loud, deep voice boomed through the cavern. I turned, looking for the source of it, and found a giant one-eyed creature emerging from the depths of the lava river. Oh, hello! You must be the Fire Guardian.
I am. Why are you here?
Why else would I be here?
I do not get visitors very often. I'll ask again, what brings you here?
I need your help. I need to get stronger. Please, teach me your ways.
Very well. Sink deep into the lava. Get comfortable, and let me tell you a story. A long, long time ago, when the mountains were pebbles, the forest was seeds, and the oceans but mere puddles, the ancient magma withers like yourself ruled over the Nether, living in peace with the water wardens of the overworld.
Wait. We lived in harmony with one another? What happened?
I'm getting to that.
Sorry. Continue.
The ancient magma withers mastered a technique that allowed them to overpower the abilities of the water wardens. That is when the wars began. It was a long, bloody conflict. Many centuries later, you were born. You have that same power deep inside you.
I do?
Indeed. Now reach deep within the fire inside of you. Take hold of it and pull it to the surface.
I followed the Guardian's instructions to the best of my ability to perform this technique, but it didn't work. Nothing happened. What gives?
I expected as much on your first attempt. Until you master that technique, the Water Warden will remain one step ahead of you.
I told him I would keep trying and left the cavern behind. On days 36 through 39, I was wandering through the overworld, pondering on the Fire Guardian's teachings when I came across a sandy river. All right, Bronzo, you can do this. Just dip your toes in. I tried to enter the water, but was immediately hurt once again. Ugh, dang it, forget this. I started to head back home when a large sand scorpion emerged from underneath the beach.
Hey, wait! I know you! You're that Magma Wither! Oh, the Water Warden will be so pleased if we bring you to him.
You can try, but I'll turn you into molten glass.
You won't be able to stop us all! Get him!
More scorpions emerged from the sandy beach. All of them were ready to fight. Fine, you asked for this. I fought them off the best I could, but they all swarmed around me. They had a powerful poison attack that quickly drained my health, and I had to change my strategy. I got up higher and did my best to blast them with my wither skulls. Very slowly, I was able to start picking them off, one by one. Once I started killing them, they got nervous.
Wait, don't kill us! We'll do anything!
The scorpion told me of another general who lived deep in the desert.
The Mirage General is surrounded in mystery. Nobody knows what they look like or how powerful they are.
With that, I let the last few scorpions go. As they left, I turned back to the desert. It's about time I killed another general. I quickly flew off to hunt my next prey. On days 40 through 45, I entered the desert, unsure of what I was looking for. I wandered for a while, but I couldn't find anything other than the desolate waste. Hello? Mirage General, I'm here to kill you. Suddenly, I was ambushed by a swarm of little warden dragons. Ah! What the?
Hello, Bronzo.
Are you the Mirage General?
No, Bronzo. I am the Wither General. I am you.
What? The Warden Wither came in to attack, and I fought it off with everything I had. The Warden Dragons swarmed in too, and totally surrounded me. I was getting overwhelmed. They all hit me with their sonic booms, and I was overpowered. I fell to the ground. You can't be me. It's not possible.
It's true, Bronzo. I'm you from the future. After you bent the knee to the Water Warden's forces, your fire has gone out, and you have donned the helms of the Warden's army.
No! I let out a huge fiery explosion, and suddenly everyone around me disappeared. All that remained was a small glowing moth. Huh? What's going on? Suddenly, the world around me began to change. The vast desert stretching in every direction disappeared, and I was inside some sort of temple.
It's me, the Mirage General. You must be very strong of heart to dispel such a powerful illusion.
Wait, so I did it? I suddenly surged with energy and started to grow. I gained another 10 hearts and a new fiery ability. I did it!
Goodbye.
The bug disappeared, leaving behind only a sparkly golden nugget. Oh, okay. I messed around with it, but it didn't seem to do anything. That guy was strange. On days 46 through 49, I returned to my stronghold in the Nether to tell my friends and celebrate my victory. Jerry, we got another one.
Oh yeah, boy!
Dance with me, Jerry! We celebrated my accomplishments, and then we set to work improving my base. I started by extending the center stronghold into a massive tower, taller than all the rest. I decorated the top with a bunch of epic flames and spires, and it looked so cool that I had to do the same thing on the other towers too. I set to work on the other 4 towers, making them all taller. I also made the tops more robust and added lava falls out the side. These changes would serve to show our enemies the power of the resistance, and hopefully make them think twice before attacking us. I was stepping back to admire my work when the resistance leader approached.
Sir, we've got a lead on another general of the Warden. Here's the note we received from a Warden soldier. It seems to suggest there's a general living in the Badlands.
Good. I will set out for the Badlands at once. From days 50 to 53, I scoured the Badlands on the hunt for the general. As I was flying, I spotted a purple beacon shooting up into the air. Ominous rings were spinning around it. That can't be good. I headed towards it, but before I could reach it, a wandering trader ran up to me, asking for help.
Hey, you there! You gotta do something! We need help!
What's going on here?
It's the Water Warden. His minions are summoning a great beast from the end.
With little time to think of a plan, I rushed in to stop the summoning. By the time I reached the magic circle, I was too late. They had successfully summoned an end golem.
Look who decided to show up. Kill him.
The end golem charged at me, and we began to fight. The end golem was throwing huge rocks at me that exploded on impact and did a ton of damage. The warden's minions attacked me too. I focused on the huge golem, targeting the glowing spot on his back with everything I had. When I hit those spots, I was able to do a ton of critical hit damage to him. With a devastating final blow, the end golem was defeated. Heh, looks like you met your end, golem.
This isn't over, Bronzo. The Water Warden will extinguish you once and for all.
Oh, it's over, punk. I made quick work of the rest of the warden's minions. After the dust settled, the wandering trader from earlier approached me.
Wow, you were amazing. Thank you so much for taking care of those freaks.
Don't mention it. Now, can you tell me where I can find the warden's general around here?
Of course, it's hard to miss. They've been stripping the land of all resources wherever they go.
The wandering trader told me that the general was working out of a temple and pointed me in its direction, so I headed off, ready to face whatever the warden had in store for me. The Badlands stretched on for miles, with no relief. Suddenly, a bunch of freaky end bugs started crawling out from the rocks. I hate bugs, especially alien bugs. I started blasting the bugs with my magma powers, but they kept crawling out of the dirt. Back, you gross things! I kept them out of reach by flying high up, but they seemed never-ending. I seared all the bugs with a massive plume of fire, and they were finally finished. If these things are here, then I must be getting close. Not long after, I came across the End Temple. The land was stripped of resources and looked completely ravaged. I approached the small building in the center and found a passage that led into an underground dungeon complex. Bingo! As I fought my way through the dungeon, there were tons of Endermen who could dodge my fire attacks by teleporting. There were also a ton of Shulkers who could shoot me from a distance. Eventually, I was able to fight my way through the hordes of end mobs, swinging my huge hammer wildly. That general better be ready for me. On days 58 through 61, I made my way into the boss room of the complex dungeon. A massive figure waited for me as I entered.
So you're the one who's been making a fuss around Minecraftia, interrupting our mining operations, killing my men.
Look, buddy, I don't know what your plans are with all these resources, but I'm here to stop it. The general suddenly let out a rumbling laugh that shook the complex.
You are short-sighted, Magma Wither.
Short-sighted? What do you mean?
When the Water Warden began his conquest, we were given the choice to bend the knee or die. I'd much prefer being on the winning side. It's a shame your ancestors didn't have the foresight we had. They refused and now they are gone. As the last of your kind, you get a second chance.
Wait, what? You're really asking me to bend the knee now?
Yes.
The general assured me that if I swore loyalty now, nobody else would have to be destroyed. Forget it! The Water Warden is destroying this world. I'll never side with you.
So be it.
I charged at the general, shooting my fire slashes, and he immediately blinded me. I can't see! I started swinging wildly with my hammer, and I was able to get a few hits in before my blindness wore off. He teleported all over the place, so he was really hard to hit. Suddenly, he split into a bunch of tiny versions of himself and started hitting me from all angles. When he came back together, I summoned fire from deep within the earth and hit him with everything I had. Eventually, I hit him hard enough that he began to self-destruct, exploding into a million pieces. After the battle ended, I felt the immense heat bubble to the surface of my skin. I gained 10 more hearts and a power of pure fire blasted out of me. A laser beam? That's so sick! Satisfied with my victory, I quickly left. On days 62 through 65, I made my way through the Nether, back to my base, when I ran into the Fire Guardian.
It's the Water Warden. He was planning an attack, so I went to your base to warn you, but I was too late.
I rushed back to the base with the Fire Guardian. When we arrived, the base was in ruin. No! The walls and towers had been blasted apart, killing most of the resistance members with it. Giant ice spikes punctured the structure. All of our hard work had been destroyed. As I mourned the losses we took, Jerry and Blobby emerged from the ruins and ran up to me. Blobby, Jerry, you survived! The two explained to me what happened, how the Water Warden had ambushed the base and caught everyone off guard, only leaving after seeing that I wasn't there. I'm sorry I was late. I'm just glad you guys are okay.
What do we do now, Bronzo?
We won't let the Water Warden scare us into hiding. We're gonna rebuild our base to be even better than before. From days 66 through 70, we set to work on rebuilding the base. We started with building the walls back thicker and more resilient, and even added a walkway on top for better defenses. Next, we decided to add a fiery moat of lava across the front of the base, with a drawbridge to get across. This would work as our first line of defense, and as a home for the Fire Guardian.
This is great!
While the Fire Guardian settled in, I continued patching up the rest of the base. There, looking good as new. Once the repairs were completed, the other resistance members began to regroup near the barracks. I decided to go and check on the Fire Guardian. How are you settling in?
I love it! I had no idea there was so much lava in the Nether!
Yeah, that's like the Nether's whole thing. Never mind.
Have you had any luck unlocking your inner power?
No, I haven't.
That is unfortunate. I have reason to believe one of the Warden's remaining generals is deep underwater.
What? Just then, the resistance leader approached us.
Sorry to interrupt, but we need to talk, Bronzo.
What's the problem?
We lost too many in the attack. We're going to need some new recruits if we want to have a chance against the Water Warden's forces.
Okay. Do you have anyone in mind?
Follow me.
On days 71 through 74, the resistance leader led me into a debriefing room, where she gave me the lowdown.
I have on this note 3 groups of mobs who would be sympathetic to our cause. I need you to seek out these groups and recruit them to fight for the resistance.
I'm on it! I set out to find the first group on the list, which was a community of tigers in the jungle. Alright, let's see. I searched through the jungle until I found their small village.
Yes, my people would be very happy to join the cause. We've never been to the Nether before. How exactly do we get there?
After I showed them the way to the Nether, I set out for the next group, which was a community of mountain goats.
Yeah, let's do it.
The final group was a village of penguins who lived by the sea. I was able to find them, but when I arrived, they were under attack.
Help! Help!
Ah, jeez. I charged in to fight the drowned. They kept jumping into the water, which made it harder for me to fire against them. But I started blasting them with my new laser, and they started going down pretty quickly. Eventually, I was able to take them all out. I went over and met with the surviving penguins to see what was going on. Where the heck did all those guys come from?
They are minions of the Sea General. They've been tormenting us relentlessly since the General started occupying these waters.
Well, if you need a place to live, you're welcome to join the resistance at my base.
Sounds great. It's about time we started fighting back.
After I sent them on their way, I set out to find the Sea General. I searched along the water's edge for a while, until I spotted a temple sticking halfway out of the sea. That must be it. I approached the temple, and the general came out to greet me. Sea General, I challenge you!
You'll have to come in and get me, fire freak.
Grrr. He summoned a bunch of his minions who started taking pot shots at me. Hey, that's not fair! Get back here, you coward! The Sea General's minions kept shooting at me. As I tried to fight, I was knocked out of the sky and fell into the water. I began taking damage with all the water around me. I feared that I was about to die. Just when I thought all hope was lost, I felt a heat deep within me, and it exploded outward into the water. I suddenly transformed and unlocked my ultimate powered-up magma withered form. The amount of heat from my body was enough to evaporate water wherever I went. This is awesome! Now I can survive in the water! I started flying through the water, evaporating a path around me. The sight of my new form and powers terrified the Sea General's minions, who tried unsuccessfully to stop me before I obliterated them. On days 83 through 86, I smashed through the ceiling of the base. I flew down to face the Sea General and evaporated all the water in the room. Ha! Try fighting me now, General. The General laughed at me.
Ha! I can breathe air too, you fool.
Shoot! With terrifying speed, he lunged at me, and I was barely able to get out of the way in time. He swung around his massive arms and attacked me with his tridents from afar. But thankfully, since he was fighting outside of the water, he was incredibly weakened. I shrugged off his attack and sent back laser beams to cut him down. Eventually, I was able to knock him out.
You may be strong enough to defeat the generals, but you will never beat the Water Warden himself. He is a god.
Now that I've unlocked my secret ability, nobody can stop me. I heroically finished him off and began to celebrate. Ha! I did it! I conquered water! Suddenly, out of nowhere, water started flowing back into the base. Uh-oh. As the water hit me, my ultimate form wore off, and I was weakened. I wasn't taking damage, but I couldn't move. I floated to the sea floor, and suddenly, the Water Warden appeared above me and floated down.
Foolish, puny wither. You really think you can defeat me?
Go ahead and kill me, Warden. That's all you do, is kill to get your way, just like you did my parents.
You thought this whole time your parents were dead? I kept them alive so they could watch me kill you. Shame they are back at my base right now, rotting in a dungeon.
With the news of my parents' survival, the fire inside me was reignited. I burned with a fiery rage and exploded back into my powered-up form. The Water Warden was knocked back from my burning body, and I rocketed up into the air, back to the surface of the water. I did it! I actually did it! Once I was back in the air, I faded back into my normal form and fell back to solid ground. I gotta get out of here and find my parents. On days 91 through 93, I rushed back to my base, still weakened, and began asking around about the location of the Water Warden's base. Do you know where his base is?
No idea. He has kept it very secret.
What about you, Fire Guardian?
Nobody knows where that is.
What am I gonna do?
You're looking for the Water Warden's base? I think I might know.
What? Jerry, you know?
Well, yeah. The other day I was out fishing by the river nearby. I caught me a huge biter. I should show you later. Biggest fish I ever...
Jerry, get to the point.
Right. When I opened the sucker up, it had one of them glowing warden hearts in it, I think. I followed the flow of the river to a place deep in the earth. I think that might be where the Water Warden's hiding out.
Take me there, Jerry. Jerry led me deep below the surface of the overworld to what we both assumed was the entrance to the base. It's gonna be dangerous from here on out. You should head back.
All right. Just be careful now, you hear?
I snuck inside, and for once, I wasn't spotted because I was still weak and dim. I can see why they call this place the Deep Dark. I can barely see a thing. Huh? Through the darkness, I saw what looked to be an entrance to the Deep Dark, a dimension where everything is deep dark. I continued into the prison, where I found my parents had been held captive all this time. Mom! Dad!
Bronzo!
Is that you?
You've gotten so big.
There's no time for this, guys. We can enjoy our reunion back home. Follow me. As my parents and I escaped the base, I began to glow again. Phew, good thing I didn't recharge sooner. I would have gotten caught sneaking again. From days 94 to 96, I built a room for my parents in my base. With that addition, the base was finally complete.
Good work, son.
Thank you for everything. We're so proud of the Magma Wither you've become.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. I'd love to stay and catch up, but there's something I gotta do. I rallied all the troops together. There were a few things I needed to do before the attack. The time has come, everyone. The days of the Water Warden's rule are numbered. But I can't do this alone. I'll need everyone's help if we're gonna defeat him.
We're with you, Bronzo. All the way.
Yeah, let's show that Waterito who's boss.
That's the spirit. Everyone, to the armory. On days 97 through 98, I led the resistance troops deep into the earth, back to the Water Warden's base. Charge! On my command, we all charged in to take on the Warden's forces. As a team, we mowed through his minions until we got inside, where the portal to the deeper dark was. Let's go! Into the portal! One by one, we plunged into the inky black darkness of the deep dark and came out on the other side. When we got there, we were met by an entire army of minions, led by the Warden's last living general.
You shall not pass.
Oh boy, here we go.
You may have beaten all the other generals, but you will never get through me. And besides, even if you do that...
Yeah, I know. The Water Warden will destroy me. I've heard it all before. Let's go. Yeah! I charged in to fight the final general, and the two armies charged at each other. The general started blasting me with his sonic boom, and I retaliated with my flame slices. We flew through the air as our armies clashed underneath us. I dodged his sonic boom and unleashed a laser beam to knock him back and gain some distance. I used that moment to swoop in and decimate the enemy's forces. With that, the tides had turned, and the resistance had the upper hand. I turned my attention back to the deep general. We were both hurting, but with a well-placed Wither Skull, I finally beat him. Yeah, that's right. 6 down. Only the big guy left to go. Suddenly, I felt an incredible power surge through me. Guys, get out of the way! The resistance army took cover, and I let out a massive explosion. A few minutes later, I awoke, surrounded by lava. I came to the surface to discover that I became a massive magma wither storm, and I had blown the roof off the entire deep dark. I was looking up at the overworld, floating above a massive volcano of my creation.
Holy mackerel.
I had also doubled my hearts and had the powers of a wither storm. I am unstoppable! On day 100, the Water Warden stepped to the edge of the crater. Under his feet, Skulk spread like an infection. End of the line, Water Warden. Come face your doom.
I see you have become a wither storm. You may look different, but that won't change a thing.
Are you kidding me? I am the storm. You're just a dude. As I said that, water began pouring in from the surface. Suddenly, the Water Warden began to grow. He kept growing bigger and bigger until he rivaled my size. Very well. If it's a kaiju fight you want, it's a kaiju fight you'll get. With that, we both began fighting with all of our might. I started throwing balls of fire at him, and he retaliated with water. The water began pouring down and solidifying all of the lava. I summoned the powers of the storm to blast him with furies of lightning. To slow me down, he started freezing all of the water around me, trying to hold me in place. I retaliated by summoning chunks of the Nether that released fire and lava, and even summoned a few ghasts to attack him. At that point, he began retreating into the water to recharge, but I wouldn't let him. Oh no, you don't! I let out a massive explosion, evaporating the entire ocean around us. Feel the power of magma! At this point, he had nothing left to do but try to flee from me. He ran up to the mountain, where I started raining down lightning upon him again. I blasted him with a meteor shower, and he fell to the ground. The water stopped flowing, and he shrunk back to his normal size.
No, this can't be! No!
I summoned the power of the storm one last time and finished him off. We did it, guys! Woohoo! Bronzo!